I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon update. What the hell is NATO? And why the hell do we need it? Well, NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is an agreement by member countries to come together in the case of an attack by one of those Darth Vader countries. You know the ones I'm talking about: Russia, China, Iran, Florida. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization was created in 1949 by the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations to deal with the threat of the Soviet Union, because at that time, we thought all the Russians wanted to do was drop a nuke on every third grade classroom in America.
Duck and cover, tight. Duck and cover under the table. It's a bomb. Duck and cover.
He did what we all must learn to do.
And it turns out, after watching them invade Ukraine, they can't fix a fucking truck! And their leader, Putin, is afraid of Nosferatu. However, membership in NATO in peacetime is kind of like buying life insurance when you're 22. You don't really think about it. But then you get that colon scan and realize, oh my God, I should have joined NATO! I know I'm mixing my metaphors here, but in a way, NATO deals with cancerous polyps like Russia, China, Iran, and Florida. NATO is like the good gang that stops the bullies.
We're drawing a line, so keep your noses hidden. We're hanging a sign.
It's the original Antifa, except that they can also really burn things down if you want to get froggy. How do you join NATO? Well, there are some rules. Finland and Sweden had to come up with a master action plan, which was written by the heads of state. Finland, on the other hand, just had to ask. Then those states have to follow simple rules. New members must uphold democracy, which includes tolerating diversity, which cuts out Hungary and Florida. New members must be in the midst of making progress toward a market economy. You know what I'm talking about: capitalism and a democratic quest for bling and consuming shit you don't really need. The nation's military forces must be under firm civilian control, which again cuts out Iran and Florida. The nations must be good neighbors and respect sovereignty outside their borders, which again cuts out Florida and Texas. The nations must be working towards compatibility with NATO forces. Yeah, that's right. You got to get along. In fact, the NATO Charter breaks down to one simple rule: don't be a dick. So it isn't surprising that this dude wanted us out of NATO. Look, before NATO, we didn't have a gang to deal with the numerous bad actors around the world. Now we do. NATO just added members Finland and Sweden, and maybe they aren't known as the fiercest nations in the world. But Finland has already pushed back the Russian invasion once before, and they did it so sexy. Now both countries had the backup of the free world and France. Sweden is in NATO, which means they can help us design and build tanks and planes that can be shipped to war zones in flat boxes. But we didn't let Ukraine in, because one of the rules of NATO is you can't join while you're already in a war.
Forget about it.
Don't worry, Zelensky. We got you. Look, even though you ain't sitting at the table and we can't fight with you, meet us behind the dumpsters in the back, because we dropped off something for you. Shh. A little gift.
If anybody calls this in, or there's any shit about this, you don't gotta talk to anybody.
I'm Christopher Titus. This is the Armageddon update. Zelensky, don't worry. You just quit talking. We got you, all right? Once this guy's over, you're in. You're gonna be a main country. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Zelensky. Hey, back down.